A challenge then to a data miner Kata. Hello and welcome to another Bringing the Thunder Kata. Come on, make Kata appear here. Eh? I believe in you in marketing right now. Great, okay, they're not happy. But anyway, I'm here together with you with another guest. You might recognize him from a previous one, but if you are joining us for the first time, who are you and what do you do here at Skyline?
Hello, my name is David Joseph. I'm a solution DevOps engineer within the product marketing team.
Okay.
And basically I work on all kinds of solutions within a specific target area using all of the tools we have within Data Miner.
Okay, excellent. So a quick recap. We're going to be starting or continuing, I think, on a topic we've seen in a previous kata, DOM. So it will help me out. It was data miner object model.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's right there, of course. Right. I should have just, opened my eyes instead of going to my mind palace. I could have watched the laptop. But so we've seen a little bit about that. Could you maybe recap us and then tell us what are we going to do with it now? Because I'm enthusiastic and I really want to know what we can do.
Great. So data miner object model, we shown it last time, and basically it's a way to store additional metadata about a business, about processes that you need within your organization. So last time, what we've shown, for example, is creation of an event DOM object, and then you can start creating records for that, like an event with a name, a start date, notes field, and then like examples of that are a game, for example, Barcelona versus Real, and now we can create different instances. So what do we do with that? So that's actually creating kind of a database that you can then use, for example, within the low-code apps.
Right.
And then you can start building full applications on that, which interact with data miner and use all of the underlying functionality.
Right. So where you have the classical connectors and elements who use element data and store things in a Cassandra database. You have Elastic as a database in the background as well. And then you've got data miner object model, DOM. What does that use in the background again?
That uses Elastic or OpenSearch, so you can use it on SaaS, for example. You can use DOM or you can use it on-prem, so whatever works.
So it's currently using that probably because it is a wrapper. It's kind of, it gives us the ability to probably in the future, if necessary, change the underlying technology. Okay, epic, cool. So, all right, you've got another tutorial prepared for us, another kata, an exercise. Can everyone follow along with that? Or?
Yeah, they can.
Okay, any prerequisites?
So I'll show you in a second. So there's two packages, the DOM editor and the Kata DOM, which is a specific package for this.
All right.
Which will contain a app, as well as this DOM definition for this event.
Okay.
So that you can create these records, as well as some scripts that we'll need during the
so a couple of packages to install again from the catalog with nothing unusual. Okay. And what are we going to be doing?
So this time we're actually going to look at states on DOM. Last time we just created a DOM definition.
Yeah, we made the data, we put it in there.
And then it's basically you create a record and that's it. So this are three examples of such a DOM definition, which are contained in a module like we saw last time. But what we want to do now is show you that these DOM definitions, they can be, or these instances can be state aware. So they can have different states and you can push them through different states where they can have different behavior according to the state in which they are.
Okay, so kind of encapsulating, well, you've said it on the screen there, event info, encapsulating it as an event instance, an object, something that has its own state and can then move around virtually in the system to different states. Okay, cool.
So one of the examples here that I've created is like this event. This could be something, somebody does a request for an event to be organized, for example, to be scheduled. So they create a instance of that event in the state request.
All right.
And now we define that there are sequential steps like scheduled, in progress, and done.
Right.
And now we can actually move that instance through those different states. I'll show you in a minute how that works. So this is the prerequisites that I was talking about.
Right, the install package you need.
Yeah,
two of them.
Yeah, so you go to the catalog and you download and deploy the DOM editor
And the Kata DOM. All right.
Kata DOM.
Cool.
Right. Good. So let's see what you should have in that case. So let's go here. So this is the package on the catalog. Then if we go to our instance where we've deployed that, we should see that event management app popping up here.
Right, so that was part of the install package. It gives you that low-code app pre-made.
Yeah, correct.
All right.
And if you look on Cube, you should have the scripts here. So that's basically the scripts from the DOM editor where you can start editing the DOM model. So like that's also something we've used last time. Good?
Yeah, great.
All right.
Okay, prerequisites ready.
Ready to go. So first, let's have a look at the app itself. So I'll open it. So very basic app. You have a table with events.
Yes.
You can create new events, delete them, and that's basically it.
And all of those using DOM, they are not linked to an element, not linked to a connector, not linked to anything except your low-code app goes directly to the database pretty much.
Yeah,
okay.
So here on the top you see here that there's a warning. It says this instance does not contain any states. So why is this? On top here I've put a stepper component. So a stepper is actually a component in dashboards and apps which will show you the state of a DOM instance currently. So it will show all the steps and where it currently is.
Actually a bit similar to the little example you showed earlier with, going from schedule to in progress to done. So that's a stepper state and it's now complaining because you have no states.
Indeed.
Makes sense. So we're going to be adding some states.
Yeah.
Right.
Good guess.
Good guess. Good guess.
So let's go back to Cube for that. So what we're going to do is go to that DOM editor script.
Yes.
And then start that script. And we'll see the modules available. So normally the package will have deployed this specific module called event management. If we go to edit, and there we'll see we have a button definitions. We see we have an event definition like we've shown before.
Yes.
And in there we have a link to a section of event info.
All right.
So let's go back up.
So this is a simple interactive automation script to
edit that definition.
Right.
And once that's done, you don't need to touch it anymore. You can just start using the app, do scripting on that. But it gives you a tool which is very flexible to actually define the
this just an interactive automation script? Is just this a tool for this Kata specifically, or is this a tool that you
made? It's a general tool.
A general tool you've made available.
Yes, correct.
Just to kind of give people a little push out the door, as it were, to start your adventure. Make it a little easier to get.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
In later iterations, you will see this popping up within the low-code apps environment.
Yeah,
we'll have an editor like that, but this is a tool we have right now which has all the features.
Kind of to kickstart it a little, and then later on, probably going to end up with a UI, and depending on the value.
Correct.
As usual. All right, so we're in there. We're going to be adjusting it.
We talked about section definitions, field descriptors, and so forth last time. So this time we're going to look at behavior definitions. This is where we need to go if we want to use states.
All right.
So we need to create a new behavior, which we can give a name. So let's call it event behavior, for example. Always hit the apply button when you do something, then it's saved.
Yes, okay.
Quite important. So you see here we have created that behavior, and now we have different options here. So we can create statuses first.
Right.
So let's do that. So we'll create the statuses that we've defined. So for example, a request status, like this. We'll create as well the scheduled.
Right, okay, so those are the different stepper components that we'll be seeing then on the low-code app as well.
The different states that we'll see in the stepper components.
Yes, okay. All right.
Last we have done.
Done.
Okay. So we'll apply again. So now we've created the states, nothing more. Next thing we need to do, so that's an important thing to know. In each state, you can actually define which of the fields of your model are attached to that state. So you could say, in my first state, I'm only interested in the name of the event. And only as I go to the next steps, I will add a start and an end date or notes. So that's one of the things you need to define. So if I go to request, I do section definition links. So these are the sections that we've already created. We add that section, and then we need to define which fields of that section we are including for the request state.
Okay. All right.
So in this case, I'll just say I'll add all the fields, but I have the option, as you see here, to define for each field if I want to make it visible in that state, if I want to make it required, if I want to make it write or read only.
I see. So it's kind of like a filter on your event, and it will change what you see or what you get in your event depending on the state it's in. So it's kind of like, okay, we know the state has like 20 variables, but we're only interested in 2 of them when it's in scheduled.
Yeah.
Then you can do that with that. So it's kind of filtering it out.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
And that actually builds the forms that we see. So, you know, if you build your DOM model, you automatically have a form to fill in. So based on the state, it will show a different form.
Okay, based on that configuration. Okay, cool.
Here you can put fields up and down in your hierarchy. You can make them visible. So, for example, I'll hide the notes field for now. In the beginning, we might not need that. And what I also will do is say, okay, the event name, it's required. So that's one of the things I can do. Read only, speaks for itself, I think. And then client read only, that is basically that you can still update that field through scripting, but not in the user interface.
It just disables it for user interface purposes. Okay, cool.
So let's go back. So what we did now is basically do that for the request state. Let's also do it for the scheduled state, for example. So again, I will add that section. The field descriptors, I'll add them in here. But what I'll say now, for example, from the second state, from the scheduled state, I don't want people making changes anymore. So I'll put it in read only.
Mark everything read only when it's in that state. Okay.
So I'll go back. I'll just add the other fields just for completeness on the other states. Not really important for the use case, but showing you how you would do it on a real project. Yeah,
and then not forget to click apply in the end.
Yes, very important.
Otherwise we get to do it all over again.
We go back. So there's a little bit of clicking involved, but here we are. So what we did, for each state we defined what fields to use, how we will visualize them, what we will see in the form, read, write, read only,
the
position,
order of them.
So that's what we have now.
Cool. Okay.
So next thing is we created that behavior, but we didn't really say that behavior that's for this definition. So that's a link we need to define as well.
Okay.
So let's go back to our definitions. So DOM definitions, event. And here you see what behavior do I need to apply on this one. So I say event behavior.
Which is the one we created. That's the name of the identifier of the behavior we created. Okay.
So by default you have no behaviors, you just have no states, just fields.
Okay.
But then you can add this on top.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. If we go to the app now.
You applied?
I did.
Okay. I didn't notice.
Thanks for checking.
I mean, you said it was very important.
Yeah, it is.
I remember very important things.
Thank you. So let's see now if we create a new event. So let's say Barcelona, Chelsea, or something. So you see now we have that in a request state.
Okay, so now the stepper component is actually showing you what state that event is in.
But as you can see, it's a bit strange. We only have one state.
Yeah, I was expecting to see like a kind of a chain of events with a highlight or something.
Correct. And the reason we see this is because I forgot to define transitions between states, which is another thing you need to define. So you need to define what states do I have.
Okay.
But data miner
yeah.
cannot guess in what order these states are, or if you have maybe a main path and then an alternative path.
You need to decide on the flow of event to event, on how you move forward from a request to scheduled to...
Correct.
Otherwise you could start with done, and that would not make sense.
Alphabetically or something, which would make sense.
Yeah, in that perspective, yes. So we're back in our interactive automation script.
Yes, back to the behavior.
Okay.
And then what we have is transitions.
Great.
So for transitions, we will define from what state to what state are we allowed to go.
And is it a transition for each possibility?
Yes.
Okay. So for each, pretty much if we have the chain of events going to, from one event to the other event and the stepper component, I'm guessing you're kind of making the arrows now. So you've made the bullet points of every state, and now you're making the arrows in between them.
Correct.
Okay, so we're building the component as we go. That makes sense.
So we need to define here from which state to which state we are going, and we need to give that an ID.
Right.
Why do we need to do that? Because that way we can trigger it from a script with that ID.
To say do this transition or activate.
Indeed. Based on a click on something, we transition to the next state.
Okay.
So, and then you can use a bit of a naming convention like this, where you have the first state going to the next state.
Make sure it's unique.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So I'll add the 3 I need. So from request to schedule, schedule to in progress, and in progress to done.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we're building up the chain.
Yeah. Here you see also a flow level. That's actually telling you, is this the main path or is this an alternative? 0 is the main, and that's what you will see by default in the stepper component.
Okay.
If you want to have like a cancelled error path or an alternative path in your different states, then you would give it, for example, a flow level of 1.
Okay.
Things which are on the same track then, or 2 for another track. So
that's basically... So we could maybe just do an analogy that might not make complete sense, but it's like the row in a table, and 0 is like, this is your main chain, and then 1 would be under and 2 would be under there. Well, okay. All right, good.
Good.
Don't forget apply.
Applying again. Okay.
So, I mean, you've mentioned, I'm going to keep saying it now.
So let's go back now. Refresh our app here. Let's add another one.
Okay.
Okay. And there we have our stepper component, where we now see we're in the request state, scheduled in progress, done.
Right, so it nicely shows you both the events as the node, as the, how do you say, the bullet points, I guess, and then the state between them as the arrows,
Correct. But currently we created it, it's in a request state, and we have no way...
Yeah, we're not moving,
We're not moving, so...
I mean, it's nice, but I like a little action, I like a little dynamic, so I'm gonna guess a button or something.
For that we need to create actions and buttons.
Okay, both of them.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm already happy. Actions and buttons.
So you see here in the behavior we covered status transitions, and we have actions and buttons.
Perfect.
Which we can use. So buttons are actually buttons we can use on the forms to trigger a certain action. An action, something which will trigger a script, for example, to do something. In this case, triggering a state transition.
Right, okay.
So we'll add a button. So let's say we call this button schedule with an ID and a label. So the label we see on the button.
Right. So just to clarify, so this button, the reason we're doing it with this interactive automation script and not just adding a button in a low-code app is probably because, I'm just going to guess, because the button is part of your event. Like you're considering it as this is the box, the event box, and wherever we move it or use it to, this will contain a button to...
The main reason why you would want to do it this way is because you can actually, on the forms, define that a button is placed there based on the state. So this is what we have here. So you can say, if I am in the state which is request,
right, so
show this button. But don't show it in any of the other states.
Okay, so it gives a little more ability to filter on based of the state, what you want to show or not. Okay, all right, I get it.
Okay, so now we defined just a button. We also need to say what action do we trigger on this, on a button click here.
Yes.
So to do that, I need to go back to my actions, and I need to create an action. So we can create a schedule action. And in this case, we're going to trigger a script which is called event button.
Right.
And that's actually a script that is part of the package. You will see it in the background.
All right, so it exists as part of the install package we prerequisite put on there.
Yeah.
Okay, and that one is then going to have some code to do the transition itself.
So let's see now.
So you have an action, you have a button.
Yeah, let's go back here. And then we say add the action schedule to that button.
Right, okay. So,
and we apply.
Yeah, so you could have actually, we started with the button now, but I'm gonna guess we could have gone left to right, and first the status, then the transitions, then the action, and then
maybe
the button.
That makes more sense.
Well, I figured that was why it was left to right, but I said, I see you start with the button, I'm like, hey man, he's the expert. He knows. But okay, either way, it works.
Yes.
You clicked apply?
I did. Click it again.
Just to be sure. Okay.
All right, so let's go back to our app.
Yeah, so if we refresh now, this is one of those drum roll moments, I guess, where we should be seeing then
I guess so.
A button appear that allows us to move. We have the button there at the bottom right.
Yeah, so that's a default that it's put at the bottom. There's also plans to put this on different pages, but that's the default where it's...
Right, so then technically if you click on schedule, that works. Very happy, enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that did what it should do.
Nice.
And what you can see here, that all my fields switch to read-only.
Yes, they changed to read-only indeed, as you indicated when you created the states.
Based on the setting I did. So that's basically what I wanted to show.
Yeah.
The only thing that remains is maybe having a quick look at the script, but don't want to go in details there. So if we go to that event button script here, we will see that basically you have an entry here which says on DOM action. So that's basically when you click the button, it's going to enter in this method here. And what we are actually doing, so we are getting the instance ID of the DOM as a parameter. Here is a method that we retrieve that DOM instance from the database. And the only thing we need to actually do is say, what is the ID of the transition? So this one is the one we defined, request to scheduled. And now we say, okay, do state transition on this instance with this transition. And that's what happens.
So it's like 4 lines of code pretty much, just to do that through a script to actually change the... and it's very generic as well.
Well, this is now quite specific because I'm
request
saying...
too, but you could make that a variable.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. All right. What do you think we should make them take a screenshot of? I mean, maybe...
It would be nice if we can see a screenshot of the app in the request state and the scheduled state.
Okay. Well, we'll try...
Position it how you can.
Make 2 screenshots and then use an editor software to put them together. And
it's an extra challenge for extra points.
It's fine. One of either is fine. Okay. So... we're gonna probably wrap it up there. I thank you for showing us this. It was quite fun to work further on the DOM topic as a whole. To everyone watching, if you can take a screenshot of this screen, then, well, at least not exactly this one, but the one you made, of course, we'll pay attention. Don't you worry. If you do that, you'll get some nice DevOps points, which you can use to get all manner of fun stuff at the shop. So, yes, to everyone watching, thank you very much for watching. If you are looking if you're watching from, I mean, YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you are always aware of our new videos when they come out. And, well, that would be it. But maybe one last thing. there's a new initiative that I am starting, which is called AMA, Ask Me Anything. So I'm going to be walking around looking for some experts at the company, looking for some interesting people who have a lot of knowledge. And if you have some burning questions, feel free to send them in to thunder@skyline.be. And if we select one of your questions, well, you might get a little gift. But more on that in the next one. But feel free to send in some fun questions already. And yeah, you'll be seeing some AMAs already from questions we've received through other channels. All right, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.